what the process is like selling a home behind the scenes. If there's any taxes on the property, they have to reach out to the county. You inherited the property and there was no will, then they have to do what's called an affidavit of heirship, and a lender is going to take 30 to 45 days to close on the property, in my opinion. Hey everybody, in this video, I'm going to talk about how long does it take to sell your house. I'm going to go through the step-by-step process of what goes behind the scenes of selling your house, specifically the paperwork, and I'm going to answer the most common questions that come up when selling a house. Let's get started. My name is Vince. I'm the CEO of OT Investment Group. We're a local Dallas investment company that specializes in giving homeowners cash offers. All right, so I'm gonna tell you what the process is like selling a home behind the scenes. I'm gonna give you different scenarios and how to speed up each part of the process. Okay, so the simple process is, the first step is you sign an agreement with the buyer. Okay, once you sign an agreement with the buyer is gonna take that contract. There might be a realtor involved, but the buying side is gonna take that contract and submit it to a title company. What the title company is gonna do is called open title. Opening title is basically researching the title and making sure you're the rightful owner of that property. Sometimes it's inherited and maybe there was a will, it wasn't done correctly. You're also gonna make sure there's no liens or back taxes owed on that property, or a mortgage, or if there is a mortgage, how much that mortgage is. So that process, how long does it take? A smart title company is gonna start all that right away because it's gonna take 7 to 10 days to get all that information. For example, a payoff from the bank. In order for them to get a payoff from the bank, they're gonna have to send you a third-party authorization form. You're gonna have to fill it out. Now, if you're the type of person who's not prompt and doing it right away, that's going to increase the time that it's gonna take to close on your home. For example, if they send you a third-party authorization form and you're at work, so you don't fill it out till the evening, they've lost a day. Okay, then you email it to them in the morning, so they've lost a day. But if you do it right away, they can also act right away. Okay, so the mortgage payoff is gonna take 7 to 10 days. If there's any taxes on the property, they have to reach out to the county. I would say the county takes another 3 to 5 business days, but again, this is all happening simultaneously. Another thing the title company has to research is if you are the rightful owner. Hopefully you're the rightful owner and it's a smooth deal, but if you're not, let's say you inherited the property and there was no will, then they have to do what's called an affidavit of heirship. It's basically a document you have to fill out that says all the heirs that are entitled to that property. You have to state where they live, you have to state their birthdays, if they died, you have to state when they died, and you also have to get 2 witnesses to corroborate that story. So that takes time. Okay, people are living their life, they're doing things. So generally speaking, if everything goes smoothly, that takes 7 to 10 days for the title company to get all that information and clear title. Now, if you're selling the property to a cash buyer, they can close it right away. However, if you're not selling it to a cash buyer and they're using a lender, which is most likely the case, even when an investor says they're using cash, maybe they're using private money, or maybe they're actually using cash, there's gonna be certain things they're gonna have to do. For example, they're gonna wanna get an appraisal for the property, most likely, depending on their experience. They might need a survey for the property. They also might wanna get a contractor in there to see how much rehab the property needs, okay? All these things are gonna take time. Generally speaking, a private lender or a hard money lender takes about 7 to 10 days, and a lot of the time an investor wants to make sure the title is clear before they do all that legwork. because they don't want to order a survey and appraisal, and then it comes back, the title's not clear and they can't even close on it. So 7 to 10 days have passed, title's been cleared, that's another 7 to 10 days. So that's 20 days on closing on the property, and that's dealing with an investor or a cash buyer. So the quickest it can be done is about 7 to 10 days, and I'll tell you how it can be done a little quicker. Now, if you're selling your home traditionally to, let's say, a couple or a person who's buying the house, living it to themselves, and a lender is going to take 30 to 45 days to close on the property, in my opinion. Why does it take so long for a conventional lender to close on the property? Here's why. They have to verify that the buyer can actually afford the property. In order to verify that, they have to get 90 days of bank statements. They have to run their credit. Okay, all these things take time. They have to send the buyer to underwriting. Underwriting takes time to make sure the buyer's fully approved. They have to for sure get an appraisal. An appraisal has to be scheduled. And while this is going on, they have other loans that they're trying to process. These documents that they're requesting from the buyer takes time. So for example, if they ask for 90 days of bank statements and the buyer doesn't send it for 5 days, well, now that's 5 days that the lender is waiting. Okay, some people are just simply busy. I know when I was in the process of purchasing an investment property recently and I was using a new lender, I was busy and they kept asking for more and more things. The thing that took the most time was scheduling an appraiser. Those are the things that are happening behind the scenes. Another thing that happens behind the scenes that you might not be aware of, especially a buyer that's going through a conventional lender or going through a broker, the broker is shopping the deal. So what does that mean? It means that when you send all your information to the broker, let's say your income, they get your credit, they also need to see that you have money in the bank to cover 6 months of the loan, and they're shopping to lenders. Brokers are shopping it to lenders to see who wants to take the deal. So that also takes time. Okay, so that's the process of selling a house. You sign the agreement, you open title. Once title is cleared, the lender gets involved or the cash gets involved and the property is closed on. Okay, so that is the entire process. Ways to speed up the process is, as soon as you submit the agreement to the title company, send the paperwork in right away. Another thing you can do is when the buyer makes an offer, tell the buyer that you need to close in a certain amount of time so they can ask their lender if it's possible, okay? You shouldn't be the only one trying to close by a certain date if the lender and the buyer are on their own timeline. Okay, everyone should be in the know, even the title company, so they can get it closed on time or closed early. A lot of investors can close a property earlier than non-investors. Another thing you can do is when you go with an investor, most investors are going to have a relationship with a title company. And if you're in a super rush, let's say you're going through foreclosure or you're moving away and you have to sell in like 3 days, having a relationship with the title company or an attorney is key. Okay, so for example, if I submit a deal to a title company, they might be able to do it in 24 hours because they know me and I send them lots of business. Okay, so those are a few things you can do to speed up the process of selling your house. All right, so I hope this video helped you guys. To answer the question, how long does it take to sell your house? Depending if you're going with an investor or a regular person buying your house, it takes anywhere from 7 to 30 days. If you want to do it quicker, you have to have a relationship with the title company or an attorney so they can bump up your file in front of the line.